Hello, beautiful souls. I have some really powerful messages for this collective and the people who are going to be watching this video, which means you. So, the number one message that I received, it is actually the number two message. The first one I will share later. I received this message that I'm about to share when I was going for my evening walk. It's from Mother Earth, which is to asking for the strength in your body to do the right thing, to do the most self-loving thing in all moments over and over again. Like really ask for the strength that, dear God, bless me with the strength in my body to do the right thing. Dear God, bless me with the strength in my mind, my body, my heart to do the most self-loving thing over and over again. It's really beautiful, when you have the strength within your body to do the right thing, to do the most self-loving thing. Oh my God, like, wow, then you will be then you will find yourself, taking care of your health, eating right, prioritizing sleep, and saying no to all the people that you and environments that are not right for you, not aligned with you. You will come to recognize lot of the times we also don't know that, okay, this we are not aware about our boundaries, what is right for us, not right for us. But then when you say this prayer, like, okay, I want the strength in my body to do the most self-loving thing, and being awareness in itself is very self-loving, right? So then you will be guided to pray more, journal more, be outside in nature, and instead of going towards junk, instead of scrolling, instead of giving into any watching porn or like any kind of addiction, um, instead of doing that, you will be finding yourself sitting with your breath, sitting with your feelings. You would be guided to watch the content that teaches you how to sit, how to feel your feelings, and short tip: to feel your feelings, you really don't have to do anything. So if you feel the anger, you don't have to change the way you feel. You have to sit with the sensation of, let the sensation in your body lead you to that truth. You gotta know what is actually making you angry in this situation. And when you dive deep into it, you uncover the truth of you. Like, okay, hey, this person was shouting at me and I'm not okay with this kind of behavior. But during disagreements or anything, people can communicate to me in a gentler way, not in a yelling, shouting, and dirty manner. Things don't have to be dirty. We can resolve the conflict in a mature way. The frustration, if you're feeling frustrated, instead of, when you develop that strength within you to do the right thing, you will be guided to sit with the sensation of the frustration, so that out of frustration, because if you are sitting with that sensations of the frustration, you become powerful. That frustration is not leading you, because when frustration start to control you, then you are lashing out onto other people, then you are becoming violent. Then you are the somebody that who slaps a child out of nowhere. In my personal case, it was my dog. I would get frustrated, and then I would just like become annoyed at her. I would be like, Rani, like I don't like to talk like that. Why? No, we should be learning to deal with our emotions in a kinder and in a way, in a healthier way, so that we are able to be kind to other people. And yeah. And like sometimes doing the most right thing, most loving thing is forgiving yourself for not knowing better in the moment, for making a mistake, you know. So yeah, ask for the like I ask for the strength in your body to do the most self-loving thing, most aligned thing, right thing. Okay, this was message number one. Message number two for the people, meaning you, is you cannot have any kind of connection, like healthy connection, by suppressing your needs and your purpose. You cannot. Your art, your creativity, your self-expression. If in a relationship, whether it is a relationship with your parents, whether it is a relationship with your siblings, whether it is at your workplace, whether it is a romantic relationship, whether it is friendship, that connection cannot thrive if you have to suppress your self expression, if you have to numb down your truth, like hide your truth. No, that's a recipe for illness. And by having a connection, you feel like, oh my god, I need to make my parents happy, so I need to shut my creative expression down. Honestly, that's not a real connection. Remember, imagine if you had a child and that child had to hide its honest self expression from you. So that's a fake relationship that is going on between you and your child. You know, or either you find a win-win, like, okay, my parents are not right now fully capable enough to hold this self-expression of me or truth of me, so I am going to make sure that I get to express myself in full capacity in other areas of my life. I give myself that that, what do we say, that space for self-expression. You have to, like, really, you know, find make sure that you give yourself that space. So even if you're going to your parents, they sometimes, a lot of the times, the way we dress up, maybe in that moment our parents are not ready to express that truth. Maybe they're not, maybe your religious beliefs become different than your parents. Maybe in your friendship, either the both of the friends are so woke that they can hold the difference of the opinions and the religious beliefs and all. Like, I have one of my friend who has turned into Islam, okay? And I grew up in a family wherein Islam was looked at in a very, like, there was unsafety whenever like there is someone who is Islam or Sikh, you know, they will see the guys with turban and all. There is just fear, you know, the people were afraid. So I also learned that fear. But thank you to Mother Earth for teaching me better, and, you know, like, just like making my heart open and learning what there is. Now I know, like, I'm not afraid of people from other religion. And both people, they, like, in all kind of religion we will find all kind of people. And for me personally, my personal opinion about religion is, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. Because religion divides people. Truly, it divides. It makes us, you know, on the basis of, like, you need to, like, okay, my God is better than yours and your God is better than mine. No, if you want to walk with Allah, you get to walk with Allah. If you want to walk with Jesus Christ, you get to walk with Jesus Christ. If you want to walk with nothing but just believe in some kind of higher power without giving it any name, just calling it the source, calling it the creator, calling it higher power or higher self, you are allowed to have that. I am not here trying to change you to believe in, like, okay, if I believe in this God, you also need to believe in this God, because if you don't, then you are less than. No, you are not. You know, that is where I am at. And honestly, I feel, you know, that's my personal opinion, okay? I feel like that's really powerful. You gotta praise, you don't have to give it a name, give it a name to God. I personally believe in goddesses and Mother Earth, you know, that feminine power, that feminine energy. Yeah, like, anyway, I also learned that, you know, that God, like, even the male version of God, it was built by patriarchal society to, because truly the energy that nurtures this world is feminine power. It's goddesses, you know. So I truly believe in that, and I truly believe the man who submits to the women, to her intuition, who realizes within himself that I am here to honor the women, to protect her, to provide for her, that's the real man. Then that man has real, my respect. And otherwise, if some man is believing like, oh, I am here to control a woman, to no, you don't. You create a suffering for you if you try to control a woman. The world is at chaos because the feminine is at chaos. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, yeah. So I was talking about my friend who's turned to Islam, and I love her. She, I could hold her without taking any kind of pressure that I need to change myself. I could hold both like, because eventually I know what she wants is love, and what I want is love, and we don't have to try to change any of our opinions and all. What I do really want is, anytime I meet people, I really want them to get into their power, which comes from their creativity. That I really want to inspire the creativity inside of all of my friends, all the people, because that's where, our creativity is a healing energy. The plants that give birth to fruits, that's creativity, that's creative energy. So as human beings, when we get into our creative energy, it's so beautiful that brings the light. God is creative. Whether you believe in Allah, Jesus, Jen, whatever it is, God is creative. Okay, if you look deeply, there is just creative energy, and God blessed you with that creativity, and you want to respect God, you start to respect your own gifts. If you are, praying to God, but you are really not acknowledging your gifts, that's a disrespect to God. People, even like all these, Jesus Christ, he taught, he shared the wisdom or whatever. He came here to do that, he did that, and we all respect him. Any kind of prophet or like, I don't know what do we say that, but like any kind of prophet and all, they taught. And by the way, not all teachers, some teachers came here to brainwash you, truly. Some people have written books to literally brainwash you into suppressing your freeness, the way to move freely and all of that. No, I don't agree with people who wrote those kind of books or shared that kind of, wherein women are taught to suppress, to live a colorless life. No, I don't. This is painful when we start to live in that kind of, just foundation. It's not, it's not good. We came here to learn to taste, like really taste the pleasure and all of that. Anyway, so I will come back to the message, which is you have to choose relationships. Okay, it's okay if you are with your parents and they cannot hold the full self-expression of you, but if you will come to understand your self-expression and express it fully, unapologetically, that creates the openness within other people. First they are going to die, first they are going to hate you and be disgusted by you, and then as they see you in your full expression, it will create a change in their psyche. It will make them question things. And by questioning, when we start to question, it leads us to the real truth. So they will start to question their own psyche. They will start to question you, question you, question you, question you. Okay, they will start to question you, and then they will start to question themselves. That awareness, it's really powerful. Okay, and that leads to that inner child compassion. You know, it's really beautiful. Sometimes we when we start to question ourselves, we come to the understanding like how harshly we were judging other people, or how harshly we were judging ourselves. Sometimes we can feel so small within our own selves that we don't put ourselves out there. We don't feel like, okay, we are worthy of friendships and connections. And my personal thing that I have been navigating is financial, because I feel like, like when we are not financial, then nobody wants to be friends, with that painful state. I have been struggling with that, and I hope this changes soon, because I want to have good friendships and generous friendship. I want to experience prosperity. I don't want to be like this situation is not without like when you don't know how you're gonna eat, when you are always in that anxiety of, okay, where will my bills are gonna come. That energy can be very powerful as well. When people see you being in that energy, continue to commit into the unknown, to your creativity, regardless of the fears, it also gives them the courage to do so. I am not over here inspiring you to be unsafe, but I am inspiring you to be courageous, to dive to get into the unknown, like to get into the unknown and be like, okay, God's got me. Like, as I'm making this video might come out 2 days later, like 2 days of me recording it. I have like, just like my rent date is coming near. I don't know how I'm gonna pay that. I have like 2 months of rent pending prior, and I have the groceries, but I don't have the money to get the groceries. But like, and my bill date is coming, and I do feel very unsure, uncertain, but I'm navigating that. I'm just sharing that this is what I'm navigating, okay? And I want to see how God leads me through this. Of course, and there is then panic that comes in, with everything. But I want to see how Mother Earth leads me through this. Over the month, again and again, I have, like faced my fear. I have always felt like, okay, will I be taken care of or not? And somehow, some way, God always took care. Always, Mother Earth always took care. And I'm sure she will in this situation as well. I don't know how, but I'm sure she will move my body. I don't know how, but I keep saying like, God, you move my body. Mother Earth, you move my mind, you move my body, you move my heart, and without like, yeah, just without putting any pressure onto anybody, but any pressure onto my followers to donate for me, or to ask for from people or friends. I mean, that's asking is okay. If you feel safe, if there is a safe, both the people agree like, yes, I'm happy to support you financially. If that person is doing it happily and you feel safe in taking care of that, whether it is even your parents, like, that's why I don't ask from my father, because I feel like that doesn't come from love, if or anybody. If, and plus, I'm not okay with that. I feel like, God, I am doing my work, you compensate that. I can ask, like, hey, can you, like, you, if you want to, if you are okay with it, you can donate for my fruits, vegetables, and rent and all of that. I can say that, but I can't I don't find that attractive, or I don't like to be in that energy, that I am DMing people for money, or I'm just like, hey, can you like, no, I don't. I feel like Mother Earth must compensate me for my work. That's how I want to be moving forward, honestly. Um, I know I was I was talking about something else, and then something else, then something else, and I know it was all aligned. Everything you were meant to hear, all of it. So okay, even if your parents, now we are coming back. Even if your parents cannot full expression of you, uh, by the way, I'm really proud of that friend, that I'm talking about, who turned to Islam, because she is also from a Hindu family, and for her to accept this calling when she was being guided to turn to Islam, and I'm sure that there so much opening that can happen, you know, like her journey, however it is gonna unfold, but she receiving that call even to turn to Islam was for a big opening, was to create that unsafety that we in Hindu family that we can feel, like just Hindu or Islam, I don't like to talk about religion, because I think people take it as an opportunity to blame or to create some kind of debate. I am not open for any kind of debate. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm not open for any kind of debate. I don't want to do that. I care about people and what is going into the hearts of the people and the feelings. I care about feelings. Okay, how are you feeling? How are you feeling when you are following your heart? How are you feeling when you dress up differently than others and you go out, the kind of looks that you are receiving? What are your fears in regards to that, in regards to when you start to follow the heart or the calling that you have received from the God? What are your fears in regards to that? How I am only available for that. I am not available for any kind of religious debate and all. But yes, healthy conversation and communication and discussion is always welcome, because through communication we reach to deeper clarity, which is okay, but why is this happening? Why is Spirit leading this conversation such a way? Anyway, I was okay, I'm just gonna take a moment and just appreciate her. uh so she, was asked when she turned to Islam. She really, like that, she did a very courageous move. I am sure, because when you do that, then there's all kinds of fear that starts to kick in. To face them, it's a very courageous act, very courageous, very powerful. And it's like that only, we want to build more safer connections, safety for people. And then through artistry, like the inspiration that we receive, they create that. When we can feel the fear that someone else goes through, the panic someone else is going through, the worry that they are going through, when we can get that, there is connection there. If you are not able to perceive the fears and the joy, and it's not only fears and pain and panic, but also the joy and the happiness. Okay, when we are able to perceive the feeling aspect of other people, we are able to connect with them better. Okay, and yeah, be it Hindu women, be it Muslim women, be it Christian women, be it any kind of women, they are suppressed in so many ways. They feel afraid, they feel very sometimes, you know, even the book can brainwash you so much that you never connect with your own heart, with your own unique essence. So you have to make that choice, like, yes, this book is good and teaching me, but I want to know my real self. And you do that by listening to your heart. It is like some priest, some prophet, some kind of, you know, they can brainwash you. They can brainwash you into thinking like they can disconnect you from your own self. Your true empowerment is you going on your own journey and learning to know about yourself beyond what book has taught you or any teacher has taught you. You can take the help from, and once you do that, you naturally find the right teacher for you. And then these false teachers, false priests, false prophets, false fathers, and whatever there is, okay, this, it creates lot of separation, you know. Sometimes we can read certain books, follow certain religion, certain spiritual guru, and then we like completely forget ourselves. And they can like inspire you to hate other people instead of creating the, you know, space within you, space inside of your mind and your psyche to hold the different perspective. They will like limit you and tell you like how you are thinking, only that is good and that's the only way. And now you look at other people who are following, living their life differently, as bad, as disgusting. Yeah, we got to, yeah, anyway, things, it is simple, you know. I never prepared to have this conversation, but for some reason spirit led this conversation this way, and I'm just gonna, yeah, let it, like, I'm gonna keep it all, you know. I'm not gonna edit whatever happened over here. um Anyway, so you have to give yourself a space to wherein if even if it is not with your parents, then you have to choose the romantic partner, the friends, you know, wherein you get to learn about your self expression, you get to be in your unapologetic creative energy. That's really beautiful, and that serves this world. That is in the highest good of everybody. You being in your 100% creative energy, it's the most powerful and beautiful gift, and it is in the highest good of everybody. You know, you living with suppression and playing small, how is it in the highest good of this world? No, it is not. There is something coming. Like, if you are my friend, I want you to be in your highest creative energy. If you are working with me, I want you to be in your highest. If you are in my field, I want you to be in your highest creative energy. I want you to learn about yourself. You don't know how to express yourself. You feel so misaligned from your creative expression because you grew up or you are living around people who are triggered by the creativity, so they have suppressed their creativity, and in order to maintain the connection with them, you have to keep playing small. And you realize, okay, I want to be in my self expression, I want to learn about it. Start doodling, start. I want that for you. I want you to get into your fucking highest creative potential, okay? And that is very healing, that you going towards your creativity, you starting to paint again, you start to write again every day, you know, you start to commit like, okay, for 20 minutes I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna play the game that I used to play when I was a child but I didn't get to. You know, I'm gonna give myself the playtime. I'm gonna paint hearts, I'm gonna paint stars, I'm gonna paint flowers, I'm gonna paint ice cream, I'm gonna do this silly makeup of putting butterfly over here, you know, and like start to dress up differently. Yeah, I want you to be doing all of those things, and you should be doing those things. You want this world to be a better place, peaceful place, you start to give yourself all these things. Okay, you start to let yourself play more, you start to let yourself paint more, write more, dress up in a creative manner. Okay, and like, why would you think like what you are being inspired to wear is dirty? Because society told you so. In some place, you know, in there are worlds, you know, wherein you can dress up, you can walk naked and people will not even care. They wouldn't even care, because they are so comfortable within their body and their creativity. But there are some places, you know, wherein you wear something different and they will start to tell you like, hey, you are so dirty, you are disgusting, you are whore, you are so weird, and all of those things. So like, when we think of something as good as bad, we have to, like, when you start to go towards your creativity, it will challenge your idea. The assumptions that you are holding about good and bad, that will be challenged, and good, that they should be challenged. And it would be frustrating, but if you are doodling, if you are painting, if you are playing, you will be able to naturally know how to deal with that frustration, and that whole, that complexity that comes with different kind of opinions and all. Okay, and yeah, natural, like, if you watched, I think 1 or 2 days, there is a video that I uploaded few days ago in which I was talking about that what is meant for you, you would naturally discover it. Like orgasm, masturbation, we discovered it very naturally. Okay, nobody had to taught us that, unless there was a sexual abuse. You know, if we were led to, you know, our interaction with sex or our own sexuality was through some kind of abuse, some kind of, you know, people touching us inappropriate and all, then our inner compass get messed with. Okay, but almost all the time, what is truly necessary for us, we naturally discover it. It's just, there is no science behind it or no logic behind it, but it's just the life, you know, like what is important for you, necessary for you and for your healing path, for your success, you would naturally discover it. I remember when I was in that phase of, you know, coming, because I grew up in a chaotic home, there was sexual abuse, there was poverty, there was violence happening, there was, you know, my head was getting banged here and there over and over again, there was no love, I had nobody to talk to, and internally, you know, it was such a disgusting, that kind of environment that I grew up in develops you into a very self-destructive person and a dangerous person that will destruct other people as well. Okay, and I grew up in that environment, and I remember and then I developed porn addiction, and then all kind of things were going on, and I felt like I can never get out of this chaos. And then I just felt that pull towards pen and paper, and I start to write. And then few years later, there was this pull towards getting a paint colors and paintbrush and start to paint. All these things healed me. You know, I don't know what kind of a dangerous human being I would be if I wouldn't have found that kind of, and I was naturally led there. I felt that pull and I started to follow that. Okay, it's just, and not, and I remember even as a child, you know, when I was going through all kind of sexual abuse. I had nobody to talk to, nobody to, like, I felt that such helplessness, and I was just so starved of love and any kind of connection, you know. Like, I had nobody. It's exhausting. Like, when you don't receive that love, connection, hugs and safety, you are just in that pathetic place, helplessness and powerlessness. I was sitting in that, and there was this rose somehow was kept there. Maybe some auntie were there, and she just bought a rose and kept it there. And I was sitting in that helpless situation with those sensation, feeling like that, and there was this rose, and the moment it was calling to me, and the moment I smelled it, I felt better. That loveless situation, that dark hole, that darkness, that I was sitting with. Like, imagine, a land that was not given water for many years. That land becomes barren completely, no crop can, nothing can grow there, that kind of or imagine a river that stopped flowing. Now it is so dirty that, and it has become like a gutter, and all kind of ill dirty insects are there. So that was my emotional state, and that kind of gutter, like, that was my emotional state. And I was there, and the moment the rose was there, and the moment I smelled it, I felt better, and I knew something about the roses. I learned the power of that when I was very young. Okay, I knew that if I am feeling this dirtier way and this flower could do it, there is something about it. And while I was in that state only, so much was going on. I also learned another thing, the power of the colors, because I saw my auntie's sari that was lavender and white. And that lavender and white color, when I was in that ugly gutter like emotional state, if you were to, like, if I were to paint my emotional state, it would be gutter like, that kind of visual that I gave you about river that stopped flowing, and now it has turned like dirty, ugly, and that was my emotional state if I were to paint it. So I suddenly saw that lavender sari and white, and it just did something. Like, I remember my frequency going up, and I discovered it naturally. Okay, so you can learn something from this is, like, wherever you are, whatever your situation is right now, there is a gift in that. There is a gift in that situation for you. We can feel like, oh my god, I am not good enough, I can't have love because of this and all of that. For me, it is like, oh my god, I'm so, like, I don't know, like, how financially things will work out, but this situation is teaching me something. I am receiving the insights that I need to have. The number one insight that I have received by being in this state over many months is that you keep your heart pure and God will take care of you. And there is power in vulnerability, letting people know that, hey, I am not, like, in that situation right now, and there is so much that we can do it with love. Like, even my landlady, when I told her, like, hey, I don't have the rent to pay, 3 months ago, and she was so patient, and just her patience. Yeah, and then this friend that I'm talking about, she was just like, she donated a generous amount, and I'm so grateful, really, really grateful. Then I could cover 1 month of my rent, and it's just how God has just been feeding me over the last few months. This is definitely for the books, like, yeah. Anyway, whatever is for you, you will be like, for your expansion and for your healing. Okay, if you're meant to expand in certain kind of path, you will be pulled towards that, you will be attracted to that. So like for me, I was always attracted to these models who wear bikini, okay, and I was like, why do I feel attracted to that? When I started to question it, because I felt like, for me, the freedom is, the way I experience freedom is by being able to wear whatever I want. When I look at them, I feel like, oh my god, wow, they have the freedom, and to feel safe in, like, they feel very safe in wearing whatever they want to wear. They feel safe in their body. They don't feel like they're less than if they are wearing short clothes. I used to feel like, oh my god, if I wear short clothes, I would be judged, I would never be taken seriously, people will look at me in a very disgusting manner, and men will feel like I'm not worthy of being married to, or like so many things. But I'm so glad I didn't hear all of those things, and I still started to wear whatever I want. And that really did open a lot for me, really open a lot for me. I feel like, yeah, expansion happened because I started to dress up very differently, and I am very grateful that I get to do that. I truly feel I have a different kind of respect for God and for Mother Earth, and just for blessing me with that. I feel it is very sacred. The clothes, anything to do with clothes, I just feel it very sacred, Um yeah. So get into your self expression, learn about it, and know that what is for you, you will be feeling a pull to that. Sometimes even our sexual fantasies, when we have certain sexual fantasies and we dive deep into it, okay, in my sexual fantasy, I keep finding to act like a little girl, who then I can get, like, in my sexual fantasies, I keep acting like a little girl, so that men can love me and all, because that is how I have to be in my home, to receive a love from my father, or the males around me growing up in my home. I would have to just keep playing small, never be like, okay, I am this powerful, I can be this powerful. The only way to have the connection with a man, with my father, with my brothers, with all the other uncles and cousins, is when I kept playing small. So now that becomes the sexual fantasy. It will give you the truth of you, okay, or and it will also show you that, yes, I want to be a little child and be loved when I'm in that really vulnerable. What is a child? It is completely dependent upon you, okay. And so many other things. Our sexual, sometimes, I would have a sexual fantasy wherein a guy would give me massage, like it, for a, for few months I had this sexual fantasy that a guy is giving me, like, whenever I would fantasize, okay. Now it has been so long that I have never been able to masturbate or something like that. I don't know what God is up to, but having a healthy libido is very good. But anyway, for I had sexual fantasy of being, like, whenever, like, I would go to, oh, I'm being very vulnerable here, oh my god, I cannot believe this. But okay, okay. So I had this sexual fantasy wherein I'm going to a beach and a guy is massaging me, and like, just, and that turned me on, okay. So I was like, why? Because during that time my body really needed massage, and I was not exercising, but I was walking a lot. I was walking a lot, but not giving myself the massage. And so there was this, my body was losing strength and it needed a massage, and so that muscles can repair. That I was, through going every day, I was taking my dog for walk up and all of that. So my muscle needed to repair. That happens through deep massages. So then this sexual fantasy started to come up and all of that. And even before that, like, when I had, like, when I initially came in 2014, when I came out of my home, uh, after, like, living like in a very abusive and without processing the abuse, without processing like what kind of torture that I have experienced, throughout my childhood, so that time, my sexual fantasies were very in which I was being disrespected, very disrespected and all of that, because that's what I knew. And to heal out of that, anyway, that's like, if you want to dive deep, and uncover through, yeah, my one-on-one sessions, we dive really deep, and discover the truth and the healing. Don't come here like, if you only come here if you want to learn about yourself, you want to do better. Don't feel like, okay, if I give her, pay her, get into her one-on-one sessions. That's why I have kept the price super up, so that no messed up energy. This space is only for people who want to, reclaim their power, reclaim their sanity, rebuild the self-love into their life, and learn to love themselves, and want true spiritual wisdom and psychic wisdom from me and support from me. It's not for doing any kind of bullshit things, okay? I'm just putting it out there. If anybody is watching and think like, oh my god, if I pay her money, no, you can't, if you pay me money, you get into my one-on-one session, and I sense any kind of sneaky energy, I would not entertain you, and I will also not return your money, okay? Yeah, so better yeah, I'm just letting you know, now. You if you want to come with that energy, do not expect the money back, do not expect the, like, within 2 minutes I can sense. If you want, you're not even 2 minutes, I know, like, god only, like, would send me the right people, but just in case, just for that one person, yeah. So anyway, if you are sincere, we can dive deep and unpack the things that are going on, and you want my spiritual wisdom and want to dive deep. Link of everything is in my bio. And my 12 weeks of mentorship would be very, very powerful. We will dive deep, discover the hidden aspects of you, move through the shame, the guilt, the fears that are stopping you in your life, and letting, like, because of which you are playing small. So we will process them and step into our power, step into our purpose and artistic gift through the wisdom that God shares, your spirit guide shares with me. And link of everything is in my bio. For some reason, I felt like someone is like, if you have a doubt, then you don't get into it, because I know my people will get me. They see me, they get me, and they are in. If you are staying here and being like, how, then you are not allowed to be here. Or you can be here and just see the magic that God creates over here, okay? Anyway, this video was so powerful. I love being on camera, I just love it. I love it, the magic that happens over camera when I just, like, me, candle, and this camera, and what spirit allows me to speak about everything. Yeah, very beautiful. I also want to talk to you about my magic paintings. Bring magic in your life with my magic paintings. This painting says, dearest God, dearest Mother, thank you for guiding me. Thank you for leading my way. When you live around this painting, the way you start to move in this world very bravely, confidently, courageously, you would find yourself becoming most braver, bolder, confident version of yourself. And it's just so much divine guidance and peaceful energies into your life. Super powerful. Super. You can't miss the magic. You can't. I'm telling you, you cannot. Okay, the fridge magnets of this painting are available. Also, you can hire me and I will channel a customized magic painting uniquely for you. A painting that will bring lot of success, high vibrations, good energies, power, love, and like sacred, peaceful, pure energies into your life. It's so powerful, and